Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back for another episode of the 5Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am your host for this week. My name is Carmo. I am joined by, I suppose, I'm his lovely dance partner. We're still getting this part mixed up, but it's Martin, Mr. Martin 115.
So, I know we gotta introduce our special guest and everything, Carmel, but I'm gonna stop just real quick. What the fuck was last week?
It was good fun, if you ask me.
You kicked me off the podcast. Like Galacini shows up and you kicked me off the podcast.
Look, whenever you have the opportunity to be joined by a legitimate star in Galacini, it's always an opportunity to take up.
Okay,
And if you were to be the one sacrificed over me, look, it could have been anybody. If Emma was on the podcast, he would have got sacrificed. If Kevin was on the podcast, he would have got sacrificed. It could have been anybody. It was just unfortunate that it was me and you doing the interview.
Well, look, let's just say, okay, going forward, we won't do it again. It's the 5Marks, it's me, it's you, it's Emmett, it's the fans, and it's the wrestlers, except for Galacini. And Axel, you're getting on my list. We won't kick each other off of podcasts anymore, okay? Let's just go with that, okay? I just want to clear the air quickly. I thought last week was bullshit. It is what it is now. I will let you continue. Hello, everyone. I am Martin.
Just so you know, if any wrestler do was the choices on the podcast and kick Martin off, I will be welcome to the idea. Just then. But anyway, we're moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by a very special guest again today. It's a bit of a weird guest. Weird is probably the wrong word. It's not our kind of usual type of guest. It is more so of a fan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rob Gould. Rob, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. It's an honor to join the 5Marks podcast. And I'm really looking forward to having this opportunity to be on the show.
Well, you're more than welcome. Obviously, we'll keep things friendly now. Obviously, there's stuff planned for Dolan's, but, you and Caramel could kind of, keep yourselves separated from each other. That'd be great.
Sounds good to me.
I might have to kick you off with Galacini as well. Really.
Well, I'll be in good company for that, I would say.
True.
I'm in like a lose no matter what. Like, you're on Gala's side, he's on Gala's side. You both threaten me with Gala. It's a hard not life for me.
You know what? Let me just give Gala a text here and see if he's free.
He's off doing whatever the hell he is doing, flying to some place. Okay, I do not want to see him. He can stay wherever the hell he is.
That's fair. But ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be, actually later on we're probably going to be joined by Emmett. We're not sure as to when, hopefully in the next 10-15 minutes, hopefully. But today we are going to be kind of backtracking a small bit on what we normally do. So we're going to be going back to a kind of an older style episode. A lot of you would have probably maybe seen the first one that we did and kind of liked it. So we decided, you know what, we have a bit of an open slot for this week. So we're going to do it again. So this week we are going to do a music quiz. Now I will get into the details of that music quiz a little bit later on, because as people know, not too long ago, I think it was last week or the week before, Money in the Bank was on in London, and we also had SmackDown on the day before. And Mr. Rob Gould was obviously at the event. So we just wanted to ask Rob, how was the event?
The event in itself, it was really, really good. As I say, it's not the first premium live event or pay-per-view, as we used to call it back in the day. As I say, SmackDown was really good. The fans, as I say, the WWE Universe itself in general, that was there, both SmackDown and Money in the Bank, just gave it so much energy for each match, and that which was a real plus and a real bonus as well. And the fact that, as I say, the numbers that it drew in as well. But the event itself, like I say, both between, Friday and Saturday were just, just even just thinking about it again is just bringing back so many good memories from the event.
So obviously, I think you had 2 days before the show. Was it?
That's right. Yes. So I had so we flew out on the Tuesday, right, and I arrived right Tuesday evening, and so I had all day Wednesday and Thursday, and then you had Friday and Saturday for SmackDown and Money in the Bank.
So a lot of people are going to find this so relevant, but this is my favorite part of going to a show and going to a big W event. I did it with Clash. What did you buy from the Superstore?
To be honest, so I didn't really buy too much, but I did get a picture and an autograph with none other than former WWE European Champion D'Lo Brown.
Oh shit! Really?
Oh no, yeah, that was pretty sick.
Yeah,
I missed that one.
He was pretty cool. Like I say, got the whole European Championship. My two belts that still remain around the waist of Rob Gold.
And there he goes.
Not for long, shall we say.
So it was, but it was really, really good sort of seeing D'Lo and that, in the flesh, and that, and it was just really nice. They had also a wee store beside it as well, which had all like WWE stuff, but we couldn't find the one that you were suggesting about, but that was a good enough wee store as well, with all WWE merchandise, figures, plushes, Roman Reigns side plates and everything. It was really good. Also meeting Io Sky at the store opening on the Thursday, which was pretty cool considering, spoiler alert for those who haven't watched it, but she is now Miss Money in the Bank.
I'm just saying, if anyone gets mad because they're like, oh my god, you spoiled it for me. The show was 14 days ago. You should have watched it by now.
Yeah.
One question I want to ask about D'Lo Brown. The European belt, had it the WWF logo or was it WWE?
Oh, let me see. Can I remember that? Let me see. I want to say it was the WWF one because, I mean, it could have been the WWE one, but I'm not 100% sure. But I know I'd probably see it in the picture if it's seen it. How we check? Just quick check.
It's just an interesting question for me because they obviously go a lot with the WWE belts, with the WWE logo on the top of them. But it's kind of cool to see some of the old WWF belts because it's kind of a bit more real, if that's the word you want to use. Do you know that kind of way? It's not like a replica.
Do you remember years ago when Rusev was on his first tear through the WWE, and it got I think they must have just bringing the belt back to the store, and the picture of the new one with the new logo on it went around and people went crazy thinking that fucking the European title was returning.
Yeah.
Maybe one day now that we got maybe WrestleMania to London.
Yeah, what did you think of that announcement? Well, not that it's really an announcement, but what did you think of I seen it coming out, and then, do you know what? Backtrack altogether. Rob, the surprise of Cena, how was that?
The Johnson. Oh man. Oh yeah, that was there. I mean, there was a rumor that he would be there. Some people expected him to be there. Some people didn't. But yeah, I mean, the atmosphere just when he came out. Oh man, it was. People were joking all day. It's like, oh, I'm with John Cena, blah blah blah. But then whenever it actually happens, the place went absolutely nuts. And I mean, I've never heard that scream before, but I think I probably have. Probably it was a few minutes before that, whenever LA Knight decided
to
show up.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say, the two biggest people that would have got the biggest pops that weekend were LA Knight, John Cena, and Wade Barrett for coming out before the commentator. So that he would have got
a massive one, I guarantee you.
Yeah. Big one, big pop. I'm still looking for this belt. Let me see.
That's good. We can sort that out later.
There we go. Let me see. Oh, I can't even actually see it because my finger's in the way.
But I'll say I'll give you a story for Clash the Castle that it was the same thing at Clash with I don't know if you remember Carmel. I think John was in the UK at that point too, or at least he put up a photo that he was in the UK And I remember the whole show, like, please, like, John. Like, I've ever seen John. I saw John at WrestleMania 34 against The Undertaker. But just to see John one more time, I was like, oh, please let it happen. It didn't happen. And when the rumor came out again, I was like, nah, same shit, same story. And then just here on my phone, you know, I think it was just after the men's Money in the Bank, was it? Or whatever part of the show it was, I was on my phone, and then you just hear the burr, burr. I was like, what the fuck? I fucking missed him. God damn it. Could have gone to Money in the Bank. Instead, I'm going to All In.
Well,
Should be just as good, hopefully.
yeah, I think it's weird because I don't think there's still any matches that have been announced for All In yet, as far as
No,
I
not yet.
No.
Not yet.
and yet it's still sold over 60,000 tickets for an event that hasn't even got one single match yet. You know, to do that now, I would say a lot of people, you know, fans are probably just like, you know, I would say there's probably more wrestling fans than AEW fans as such, that have probably bought tickets. I mean, there's like a lot of people I know who are like looking at, you know, just even getting the cheap tickets type of thing just to be there for the atmosphere of it all, and you know, I think that's a pretty good call. Like, you know, if you can make it even for one of those ones, you know, by all means.
I think the fact that it's like the first wrestling event in Wembley since '93,
Yeah.
and the fact that it's an All In as well. Obviously, AEW's first pay-per-view here in the UK, I suppose. Like the only next pay-per-view that could possibly happen in Wembley is probably Mania, unless AEW do it again. So that kind of way. So to show the kind of magnitude and the size and everything that like Wembley has. But yeah, we kind of mentioned it there a couple of minutes ago. WrestleMania in London was obviously teased by Mr. Cena himself. What was the reactions from yourselves?
I mean, well, pretty much, like I say, once he teased that idea kind of thing, like I say, like, you know, I think the whole of Europe was basically applauding that. You know, not just people, because I mean, it wasn't just, you know, people in the UK that were there. Like, you had people from France, Belgium, you know, sort of Spain, Italy. You know, you had so many people from different sort of closer countries that would sort of be able to visit the London or England or anywhere in the UK that would be able to host a WrestleMania event. I think London would be the ideal one, if I'm honest, but I can't see it happening for like at least the next couple. But if they build towards it, so they could have maybe like even say the year before that they announced to go to WrestleMania for London, they could have the previous event, the previous year. They could have the Royal Rumble to tease into WrestleMania for the following year.
I think that's possibly the next kind of pay-per-view we do get as the Royal Rumble. But even just
going. I
would
be
100%.
going.
Yeah, absolutely. But even just on the Mania in London kind of tease, like I nearly wet myself down. And then when I just heard him say it, like, you know, kind of just the excitement of anything. Like.
I can give you my exact reaction because me and my mate were texting at the time. It was literally, OMG, Mania in London. We're going. Yes, we are. Mania 41, come on. Just say it, WWE. It's gonna fucking happen. And then Grayson Waller came out and I was like, yes, Grayson. Because I love Grayson Waller.
Yeah, I love Grayson Waller. I think the thing about it was too, because I mean, the moment John Cena's mentioned WrestleMania London, I think like I literally was nearly in tears at that announcement, like happy tears, like because the fact that like for such a big event, because I mean, not many people. I mean, people, you know, let's say they've traveled over to America for like WrestleManias and things like that. I mean, people dream about wanting to do WrestleMania over in America, but to have it come over to here, to England, to London, you know, would still be, you know, right up there. You know, you've got, because you would have the whole WrestleMania week, the week after WrestleMania, you know, you'd have the Raw, SmackDown, the NXT shows all happening the week after. You would have the Hall of Fame on the what is it, Friday
after SmackDown
sort of thing. So you would have that as well. So if you so, and plus you had that WrestleMania Access type of thing as well, and that you throw that all into London, and how busy London would be those 2 weeks if it was going to be in London would be like they better not do any train strikes then, that's for sure.
Great, now you put it out there, it's gonna happen. God damn it.
All over.
But even like, so I know Cameron went to John Cena and stuff, But the Money in the Bank ladder matches, like, I felt like this year, the two of them were fantastic. Obviously, some people didn't like the men's one, and we'll get your opinion of that. Obviously, one person, everyone wanted him to win. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you feel about Damien Priest getting that W while you were there?
I mean, in my opinion, there was only 3 people that I had in mind that was going to be, and it wasn't really in any particular. Obviously, LA Knight was more the favorite.
Yeah.
Damien Priest, you kind of was almost going to be the second one, but many people obviously thought maybe Logan Paul. But if you give because the people had the idea of if you give Logan Paul that briefcase and the fact that he goes everywhere with that, it would generate a lot of publicity for it. And I know how that feels with that. And then so you would have had LA Knight had he have won it.
Yeah.
The place would have went daft for sure.
Oh yeah.
With Priest winning it, kind of it does make sense, with Priest winning it, obviously, because they're kind of they are pushing Priest big, and they have done for the past sort of 18 months or so, and they're pushing with this briefcase, and that the tease, and the fact now this is going to be a history making moment as well, no matter what he chooses, because this is for the first time ever that this briefcase can be cashed in on any WWE championship.
Anything.
So whereas like before it used to be, it was just like the world championships. Whereas even though CM Punk did tease with that he was going to cash it in and win a women's championship, but that was many moons ago.
If only he did. What a summer Punk that would have been.
Yeah. Oh.
Karma might have actually liked him then.
No.
But yeah, I mean that was. Yeah, the whole as I say, Priest winning it and then sort of going and looking as if he was going to cash it in to towards the end of the Balor match with Seth and that, and then not actually doing anything with it and that, and but what's always good about those events is the rumors of who could possibly be there as well as well as the actual event itself. I think it always throws a spanner in the works. You had obviously Drew McIntyre returning, which many people thought
huge pop.
Again, people thought that he may have been leaving, his contract was starting to come to an end.
Yeah,
and so but I think what I would like to see him take the title off Gunther, but at the same time I don't want Gunther to lose it, if you know what I mean, because I think Gunther's been a really, really good and probably one of the best with Intercontinental champions there's been in the past 30 to 40 years.
He has made that belt hella relevant.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? Like that title could run a main event that with him on it.
I believe that.
And I would even take that as being the main event for SummerSlam rather than whoever's going to be between but if it's going to be between say Drew and Gunther for the Intercontinental, I would take that as SummerSlam main event. I would have that all day. You think of the Sheamus match that, as say they had a Clash at the Castle last year was unbelievable. The triple threat that they had at WrestleMania was really good as well. So you throw that into that as well. You could be in for another banger.
And it's the final piece now. We've had Sheamus, we've had the two of them, and now we just need Drew. I feel like so just to touch on what you said, I feel like and Cameron will get your opinion as well. Damien Priest was the right person if it wasn't going to be LA Knight. Anyone else right now, I'd be sat here going, this, that, the other, LA Knight. I feel like Damien Priest, they've built him up so well. And it's not like this was just out of nowhere. No, he was built up, no different to LA Knight, but LA Knight has just got the fans behind him. So I thought, if it wasn't going to be LA Knight, Priest was the right call. And then the Drew McIntyre return, I knew that was going to happen at some point. I'm sorry if you thought Drew McIntyre, who has had 2 world title reigns, has been in some of the best stories the last couple of months, was going to jump ship. You're a fool. You're an absolute fool. I'll never forget when my dad texted. He's listening to this, episode now as it airs. texting me a photo. It was like the they're all elite fucking thing. It was a Drew McIntyre was. He's like, oh, this is gonna happen. I was like, no, it's not. Yeah, oh, this is gonna happen. He's gonna go to AEW. It's like, no, he's not. He's not. I think all those fucking reporters just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I don't. I've never forget the amount of times they've fucking put out like this person's requested their release and it's been granted and they've been wrong.
Yeah.
Carmo, what was your thoughts on like Jamie Priest winning the Money in the Bank and stuff?
I was just about to say, I watched Drew McIntyre leave in like 2 months and sign for AEW, and this guy clipped somewhere online. Um, the men's Money in the Bank match, I would have loved to seen Butch win it. Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been a nice little rub for him. Big fan of Pete Dunne. Overall, good match. A bit of a scary spot between Logan Paul and Ricochet. I'd like to see that kind of rivalry move into SummerSlam as well. Women's Money in the Bank, for some reason, I was convinced Trish Stratus was winning it. I thought bringing her back and stuff like that, maybe doing one more title reign, or kind of like looking at a title reign might have been good. But Io Sky, again, good decision. Main event, Bloodline match, which we'll get into Rob in a minute with it. Fantastic. Absolutely unreal. A lot of people thought the match was too long, or kind of could have been shorter and you could have told the same story. I thought it was perfect. Everything about it was absolutely perfect.
Fair. And Joe, we'll get into the Bloodline story because you were there for the Bloodline Civil War, and obviously Mr. Tribal Chief himself. What was like? Obviously, that had to be the match you look forward to the most.
It was. I think a lot of it sort of anticipation was going into that match, especially in the build-up from past couple of weeks and stuff off SmackDown and off the Night of Champions as well, type of thing. I think that's all where it really started in a sense, type of thing. Where it was things were starting to turn in that, and then as I say, obviously you had the J turn and stuff. With everything, but that match itself, like I would. Timing wise, I thought it was a perfect. It was sometimes matches feel longer than what they maybe should, but that was just almost the perfect timing with everything that happened in that match, and that from start to finish, the entrance type of thing, having the Usos come out first, and then Roman and Solo coming out together, and that was with Paulie, and I don't know if many people seen this or not, but there was an image that had. So one of the championships that Paul Heyman was bringing down
had the Brock plates.
The Brock plates. And I said to my friend after I seen a picture of on SmackDown, I said, you could have just took mine and borrowed mine. Two of them. But that match, from start to finish was really, really good. The finish of it itself, was really, really good. It was really spot on. And to have Jay pin him was the moment that I think people thought, right, this is going to be where they're going to push it further now. So you're going to have, you're looking at maybe Jay challenging Roman for the championship, possibly at SummerSlam or maybe at the next event after SummerSlam. But that's looking very, very likely. But overall, match was really good. Spots were fantastic. Couldn't have put a foot wrong in the match itself. For Roman to take the loss as well, it's his first loss in over 3 years, sort of type of thing. So that was, but the fact that it was a loss, he didn't, lose his championship type of thing. So that was obviously going to be, the case in that scenario type of thing. Now, had they have done like a stipulation with that, now that would have made it a whole lot more interesting. Had to put the titles on the line, so whoever was going to pin Roman or whoever was going to win the match was going to win the titles. They could have had that, but they just wanted to keep it like that so Roman can still have his championships. But I've always actually wondered, so obviously they brought in this new belt for Roman, but I don't know if it's until he loses that, does the other person get 3 belts or do they just get the 1 belt?
I think once he drops it, they'll retire the other 2. I think the other 2 are just there for Paul to carry, and then Roman has the actual belt. But I've gotta ask you the very important question of that night, and this really determines whether you hate or like Roman, and I hope you get the question. Did you stand up or take your shoe off?
So whenever, so whenever they were all chanting, "Stand up if you hate Roman," I obviously was sitting down. Whenever they were saying about sit down if you hate Roman, I was standing up, and I was probably about the only one standing up, except for Roman himself, sort of type of thing. But no, I was the same. Like, and even Roman couldn't take to it either. So whenever they were saying stand up, he had to sit down and eventually. But it was funny seeing that, that side of the whole thing, the fans' interaction, him reacting to that. And I think that's one thing I love about him, because I remember at the O2 show last year where he was getting a lot of chance head of the table because he was facing Drew McIntyre, and Drew was getting booed because he was Scottish.
Yeah.
But yet, obviously, a Clash of the Castle, Drew was getting cheered like the hell, and Roman was getting booed a lot. And he was like, "This didn't happen about a month or two ago. The last time I was here in UK." So and then about the fact that, like, they say he's so good working with the crowd, and he doesn't get enough praise for that.
No.
I believe.
I feel like it's not until you actually see Roman Reigns live. Carmo is kind of like that. Like, Carmo was kind of, I don't see all the hype, and he came back from Clash and was like, okay.
It's just when you see the entrance. When you see the entrance alone, you're like, wow, he really is like a mega star. Do you know that kind of way? And it's like, you see it every week on TV, and you can say it with, like, all over the years. Do you know that kind of way? Like, even if you see an Undertaker entrance live, it means so much more to see it live than just watching it on TV every week. So for me, just seeing Roman with the entrance, the walkout, the swagger, the belt down beside his side in his hand as he's walking out the ring, it elevated him so much in my eyes.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I think it's like with his entrance and things like that, and obviously with his theme type of thing, it does feel like a boss theme, and him coming out, it does feel like that final boss in a video game that people say about, and he does give off that vibe. Like, the fact that it's taken over 3 years to pin him in any match, and that for him to lose, so that's something in itself. As well, type of thing. He hasn't lost a single match in that time either. So he could say, like, "Oh, I've lost a tag team match with being pinned, but I haven't lost a singles match." So he could still have that kind of record going for him as well, because he hasn't been in too many tag team matches. Obviously, with the Shield he was and stuff and that, but since he's came back as the Tribal Chief, this is his stage now. This is his moment, and he could still, as long as his health's good and intact, he could still wrestle for years if he wants.
So, let's just say somehow, some way this happens. I'm going to put your loyalty here to the test. Who would you cheer for if it was the Bloodline versus the Draw? Because I know where my loyalty stands.
If it ends in a double disqualification, I'll be happy.
Good answer. It's a good answer.
Honestly, it's a really tough one for me to call, because I really love the two of them, but only because I haven't followed really OTT rigorously since obviously since the formation of it type of thing, and obviously with the Draw kind of being like a fresh group to me, and with the Bloodline being obviously slightly longer, I would probably have to just edge it that closer towards the Bloodline and Roman Reigns. But I do love, as you know, the Draw with Sammy D and the rest of the guys. I think what they're doing, I think, for Irish wrestling and a whole is something else right now.
Fair? No, it's a solid answer. I know my loyalty lies with my Draw boys.
Yeah.
Carmo, yeah.
Draw for life.
Good man. So obviously, Money in the Bank, how would you rate it? Like, being there, the experience of before, the SmackDown, everything. What would you like give that out of 10, and why?
So I would give the Money in the Bank itself, I would give it about an 8.9 out of 10.
Fair.
And like I say, there was not a bad match. Wasn't one match where people thought, oh, I need to go to the toilet, but I'm not going to miss anything type of thing. There was none of, obviously you have to go whenever you need to go. If you want to get a drink, you want to go to drink. But, you're always going to have that element where, it's a Premier League event. You're not going to get many stoppages to really do much in. But event-wise itself, from top to bottom, from the first match, like I say, starting off with the men's Money in the Bank match, and then with the Bloodline Civil War, because there was a rumor that it was going to end in with Cody Rhodes against Dominic Mysterio, but that was quashed.
Thank God.
The only reason I thought that would have been a main event, and I think they honestly thought that Brock Lesnar was going to be in London, and that's the only reason why it would have main event. But it would have been stupid to have had that match as a main event if they didn't have something planned for it. But the Bloodline match at Civil War, it had to be the main event. It had to be. It had to be the build-on main event. For what it was, and the fact that it was a civil war, and the fact that, as I say, the continuation of that going into the SmackDown from last week, and that as well, and then also the fallout from that going into this week, it's going to make things really interesting coming into the next couple of months.
So that's
it definitely will. I do have to ask one more question just before we move off Money in the Bank as a whole. You obviously travelled all the way from your lovely home in Belfast to London. And while sitting there, first SmackDown, how was it to see Damien Corvin eat a super kick?
Whenever I've seen it firsthand, I was like, whoa. I was like, this is pretty cool. The fact that you're seeing guys that, you've rubbed off with kind of thing, and that you've seen up close and sometimes too personal with such, but seeing all of that, seeing some of the other guys that were on there as well on different spots, and like I say, Myla Grace, she was on Money in the Bank as well. She was a medic and that as well, which was pretty cool to see that as well. But yeah, I mean, seeing those guys, doing that, for SmackDown and Money in the Bank, I mean, they're getting their name in there, sort of thing, and then obviously there's a whole rumor about NXT Europe, it was about maybe that one of the reasons why they were there. We don't know, but as I say, to be a part of the SmackDown, to be a part of Money in the Bank, for them, it must have been surreal for them as it was watching for somebody who's seen them at these shows and type of thing at OTT and at Titanic and things like that, to see them being there, it's like, it was just, phenomenal just seeing them and seeing how well they've done themselves, and that, and, how they're putting themselves, out there as well more, and that, with doing what they're doing, and that, and I couldn't be more proud of all the ones that were involved with especially with the whole Bloodline taking a super kick from Roman, taking a punch here and there from Jay and Jimmy and Solo and everything that was going on with it, and that. But yeah, but just seeing that was just, it was just phenomenal seeing that. And so wasn't it just seeing them walking through the O2 just after it and that, and sort of thing, and that was nice to see too, But yeah, but I'm really proud of the lads and lasses that were involved.
100%, absolutely. And that kind of ends our Money in the Bank little talk. We still have no Emmett, which is kind of unusual.
We're gonna have to segue for the first time ever to Emmett joining. So, do you want to segue or will I segue?
I'll segue.
Okay.
And we are off air.
This is the worst segue I've ever heard. So we're back, and there's no Emmett. So Emmett's busy at the moment. He ended up not being able to come on, so we're just gonna have to belt on without him.
Let's do it.
So, Mr. Carmo, you have provided a quiz for us. Obviously, the last quiz we did was Emmett's really weird. What did he call it again? The reverse quiz or some shit like that, where he didn't know half the answers to it.
Yeah, it was basically a quiz that wasn't a quiz.
Yeah. So, what have you got for us, Mr. Carmel?
I have got a music quiz.
Hey.
Now I wish Emmett was here. I made him cry last time we did that.
Yeah, it would have been fun actually. Yeah, I've got a bit of a music quiz done up. It contains WWE songs, AEW songs, WCW songs,
Ooh.
ECW songs,
Ooh.
and Irish wrestling songs.
Yeah.
So we've got a big mixture of quite a different things. There's about 40 odd songs in there. So we can either go through all 40 or we can see how we go as the episode goes along.
Okay, I'm ready for this one.
Yeah.
I'm either going to give you two choices. It's either going to be call out your name and give an answer, or if you would like, you can both grab a piece of paper and write down answers for every turn. Pieces of paper might be a bit more interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, but then the people who are listening can't.
You can call out your answers.
Yeah, I'd say
You can
call out the
your
answer.
answers.
So I'm ready when you are.
You ready, Rob?
Oh yes, we're all ready. All ready.
Perfect. So as I play the song, you will get. I will deem whether on the song is kind of tricky or not. I will deem how long of the song you get. It'll range between 5 to 10 seconds, and first one to say their name will get the answer. And after you say your name, I don't want you to blurt out the answer. Say your name, and I will call whoever said their name first. Is that fair?
Well,
Yeah, 100%.
Perfect. So we're going to kick it off with song number 1, and if you're all ready, we'll do it.
yeah.
So song number 1.
It's not picking it up. It's like
You're not-
your microphone's going really quiet because it's too loud.
You hear it now?
No.
Well, this isn't good.
No.
It worked the last time.
It did work last time. No. Your microphone just keeps going really quiet because it's like playing music way too loud.
How about we do this? Does this work? Hang on.
Yeah. No, it goes quiet then.
It goes loud and then it's quiet again.
Yeah,
It's
it
that's
goes
really
really
weird, isn't
loud,
it?
and then because you're going over the microphone, saying your microphone cuts the volume down.
Hang on here. Let me see what we can do.
I can always-
like open it here.
Have you got it on like a Spotify or something? This is going
Yeah.
great, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I have it on Spotify. Yeah, let me see. Can I open it here on my desktop? And we can do it that way.
This is what we get for doing things last second.
Yeah, we'll cut all this out. We'll cut all this out.
Except
None of
on the
this will really
YouTube
be-
side, because I can. What's up, everybody?
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. But after a few technical difficulties, which we will sort out at another time, and we will definitely do this quiz, we have decided not to do a music quiz. And we are just going to do a normal, everyday quiz. So this is a quiz that I had done already as well. And it is Guess the Pay-Per-View. So I'm going to give you a match. I'm going to give you a match, and you're going to have to guess the pay-per-view. There's about 15 or so of these questions.
Okay.
And some of them are a bit trickier than others to try and get. So I'll shout them out anyway. We can kind of give them a go. I'm going to name the match. And which way do you want to do it? Do you want to write down your answers or?
I'd say just go like, all right, like, just like most people do, where it's like, okay, give me your answers. And it's like, Martin, I'll give you mine. Rob gives you his, and then you're like, and the answer actually is.
Okay, let's do that. So if you're both ready, we'll kick it off.
Yeah.
And our first match is Luke Harper versus Dolph Ziggler in a ladder match.
Okay.
I'll let you get your answers. And what we'll do is we'll do it on a point system. And if you get the year of the pay-per-view, I will give you an extra point. Martin.
TLC 2014.
That is 2 points for Martin. Rob.
Oh. So let's see. So 2014 is the year. That's pay-per-view. I'm trying to think what pay-per-views were about that time, because I know some of them have been rebranded.
We're gonna have to push you here for the answer.
Oh.
Give you a 5.
Sure, actually, no, it's
4,
that was
3,
year 2014.
2,
Yeah.
1. Need an answer.
Yeah, it was
First thing that comes to your mind.
No way out. 2014. Just
Yeah,
free.
so I kind of spoiled that there because I said 2 points.
He did.
for
He
Martin,
spent
so
2
it
points for
actually
me.
was TLC 2014, but it's still a point for you, Rob. I'll give you a point for the year.
Oh, thank you very much.
So the next pay-per-view, or the next match, I should say, is Mark Henry versus The Undertaker in a casket match. And I'm going to give you a second or two to have a think about this. As we do, I would like to thank all our followers for always listening to our podcast and for supporting us. But we will hand it over to Mr. Rob. Mark Henry versus The Undertaker in a casket match.
I want to say Survivor Series. I could be wrong, but I want to say the year may have been let me see, but 2011.
Sorry, give me 2 seconds there.
You don't know yourself, do you?
I do.
Oh, okay. I'm making sure.
Is that what you're going for, Mr. Rob?
It is indeed.
Perfect. Mr. Martin?
WrestleMania 22, the year being 2006.
That's 2 points for Mr. Martin.
Oh, very good.
I'm a nerd when it comes to wrestling.
That was like 5 years off.
You weren't too fair. In fairness, that match could have happened at any time, but just throwing it in as a casket match would have made it a little bit. But yeah, the next match is this one. It should be a little bit easier. You should definitely get a point out of this one. It is Vince McMahon versus 29 other people. I'm going to give you a second or two to have a think about this, and I'm going to go back and say thanks to every guest that has ever joined us on this podcast. And if you are listening, thank you so much. Mr. Martin.
What a great host, ladies and gentlemen.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna assume it was a Royal Rumble, and I don't know the year, so I'm 1998. The year I was born.
Okay, and Mr. Rob.
So again, Royal Rumble, but I think it's actually 1999.
You're locking in that answer?
Yep.
It is 2 points for Rob and 1 point for Martin. It is the Royal Rumble 1999.
I was only 1 then. That shouldn't count.
I was only like 3, so.
Yeah, but you were watching all those. I was there.
Yeah, it's true. It is true.
I was there. I was under the ring. I knew what year it was back then.
Knew it.
That's the only one I know.
Let's go to Antonio. So. This one is maybe a little bit out there. It is Triple H and Shawn Michaels in a Hell in a Cell. And while the lads are thinking of the answer, if you haven't already, please follow us on all our social media. We will announce them at the end of the show, so stay tuned. We will go for Rob on that one.
So Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Hell in a Cell.
Oh, it's actually funny. Emmett would have really enjoyed this quiz.
He would have. Well, this one.
I'm gonna say. I'm just taking a swing at this. If I'm honest, I'm gonna say Unforgiven 2007.
Okay. And Martin?
I really don't know. I'm gonna go like Bad Blood, because that was their normal Hell in a Cell pay-per-view back then. So like Bad Blood 2003.
And I can tell you it is Bad Blood, but it's 2004.
Ah, you bastard! I didn't feel. I was there thinking like, okay, 3 Stages of Hell wasn't that? Rumble wasn't that? I was like, God, what the fuck was it?
To be fair, I would have given Martin a point for that, getting Bad Blood right for a start.
He gets a point for it. He gets a point for it. So it's always you get 1 point for Bad Blood.
2 ahead.
So what I'll do is I'll give you a point for either pay-per-view or a year, and you obviously get 2 points if you get both.
There we go.
But yeah, good going so far. Our next one is Hulk Hogan versus The Undertaker in their first WWE match. And for everyone listening, there will be a spot prize at the end of the show. There actually won't, but there might be a spot prize.
The prize is caramel. We're finally giving away.
Yeah. So listen to the end of the show to realize how to win me. That does not sound right. Anyway, Martin, what's your answer?
I don't know. I don't know what pay-per-views are around like the 1990s, so I'm just gonna go Survivor Series 95.
Okay,
and Mr. Robert.
I'm gonna say. Let me see. Hold on, let me see. Like I said, it's probably going to be wrong, but I'm thinking of the year more than the pay-per-view, but I think it's going to be around about 92. And I'm going to say summer. Let me see what we'll do. Survivor Series 92 we'll go for. Might be wrong though.
Perfect. So it's a point for each of you. Both got Survivor Series. But it was 91. And that was actually kind of the reason for it, because it was 1 year after Undertaker debuted. Exactly 1 year.
That's what was in my head. I was like, which one is it?
Nothing was in my head.
Yeah. But she still got a point each, so you're doing well. Next one is maybe not. It is Kenny Omega versus Pac versus Orange Cassidy. And for everyone who is listening now, make sure to get your tickets for Hard Knocks, Hard Luck, July 30th in Dolan's Warehouse. I believe we went to Martin last, and we're going to Rob for this one.
To be fair, I haven't really followed AEW much, but it's a pay-per-view wise. I don't know if it would be All or Nothing. I'm not sure what way they name their pay-per-views there. I would say it's probably you're talking maybe 2021, maybe.
And what pay-per-view?
I'm going to say All or Nothing, but I'm not sure what their names of their pay-per-views are, half of them, if I'm honest.
You're on the right track.
Okay. That's okay. And Martin?
Double or Nothing, 2021, I think.
So I'm going to give 2 points to both of you there.
Okay. I was like, was it 21 or 22? Is it 21 or 22? I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I'm going to give both points to both of you for that one. Rob, it's double or nothing. So all or nothing, I'll give you the point for it.
Yeah, that's fine. He got most of the name right.
Yeah,
100%. Next one is TLC 1. And while the boys are thinking about this, if you are heading to the OTT show and you are listening to this podcast, I hope you enjoy the show. And please don't give me spoilers, because I won't be there. Mr. Martin?
I will be there. SummerSlam 2000.
And Mr. Rob?
SummerSlam 2000, yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 points each.
Yeah.
Our next one, it should be a pretty handy one, especially if you listen to the podcast, because I think we talk about this match a lot in a lot of our early episodes. It is Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio in the custody of Dominic match. So yeah, as I said a while ago, make sure you do tune in or get your ticket for Hard Knocks, Hard Luck, July 30th. It's going to be a banger of a show in Dolan's Warehouse. Rob, we go to you first.
I think, from what I can remember, I'm trying to think, I'm nearly sure this was SummerSlam, because it was a ladder match. I remember that. I'm nearly sure of. Now the year, let me see, 2002. I would say this is going to be close. I think it was 2001.
Is that your final answer?
It is, yes.
And Mr. Martin?
SummerSlam 2005.
2 points for Martin, 1 point for Rob.
Oh.
You're flying it though, boys. You're flying it. You're going well. This one might be a little bit trickier. It is Kurt Angle versus Triple H versus The Undertaker versus The Rock versus Rikishi versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in a Hell in a Cell match. And while the boys are thinking of their answers, I will leave my bank details in the footnotes of this episode. And if you want to send me money, please do.
Soon enough, we'll be doing our own sponsors and stuff here, where Carmel will do the exact same things.
Yeah. If you want me to say something on air, I'll do it for a small fee. No, I'm only joking. I believe it's Martin's turn for this one.
I think it was an Armageddon pay-per-view in like 2000.
Final answer.
Final answer.
And Rob.
I would say Armageddon. Is it nine? Hold on, let me see. Year-wise, I think. I'm not trying to work this out. I'm going to say 1999.
Final answer.
Yes.
You sure? You don't sound too sure.
Yes, I'm just going to go for it. I think 2000 might sound better, to be fair, but I'm going for 99 anyway.
It is 2000.
Yeah.
So
I
it's 2
thought Rob
points
was
for
right.
Martin.
I thought I was wrong, and I thought Rob was right.
Yeah, it's a good match actually. If you haven't got checked it out, but yeah, you're fairly close on that. 2 points for Martin, 1 point for Rob on that one. Next match, and we are coming in close. We've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches left. So it's a bit of a shorter episode this week, ladies and gentlemen.
We're still at 50 minutes.
Please enjoy it. Please enjoy it. This one is Edge and Mick Foley versus Tommy Dreamer and Terry Funk. And while the boys are thinking of their answers for this one, if you would like to buy me a pint at Hard Knocks Hard Luck on July 30th, I do not drink, so it's okay.
Pint of water. Pint of water.
Yeah, pint of water will do fine. Thank you. I believe it's Rob's goal for this.
Oh, let me see. I'm trying to think. So tell me, let me see. So I think the year could be around about 2004. I'm thinking it's possible now for that type of a match. Oh, it's a hard one. Oh, this is tricky.
We're going to have to push an answer here.
I'll go for. Oh, it's a really awkward one. I don't think it was. Oh, it wouldn't be SummerSlam. We'll go. I don't think it'll be Unforgiven. Because I don't know. Because I know sometimes they change the names about of pay-per-views throughout the different years and that. But I'm going to go for the year for around about 2004. I think it might be later, if I'm honest. Do you know what? I'm going to change the year 2007. I'm going to say I'll say Unforgiven or something like that. But like I said, it's probably going to be wrong. But I can remember.
We'll take it. Is that your final answer? Or do you want to...
Yeah, final answer. Yeah.
Perfect. Mr. Martin.
Was it one of the One Night Stand pay-per-views in like 06?
It was One Night Stand in 06. Rob, you were so close there to get the year. You had the area.
I was going to 04, 07, and I was like, right, so almost right bang in the middle.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't remember because I know Edge obviously screwed Cena at One Night Stand.
Yeah.
The year previous, and then
no, it was the same year. It was the same year 06.
That's what threw me off. You see, because I thought it was going to be
and then Mick and Edge had their feud, and then they became like an alliance for a small bit, and then that went to One Night Stand and that. And so on, so forth.
Yeah. Our next matchup is Shawn Michaels versus Triple H versus Booker T versus Kane versus Chris Jericho versus Rob Van Dam.
Always. I just can't live without you.
And while the boys are thinking of their answers, if you would like to see your favorite people come on the podcast that haven't been already, please message us. And we shall message those people and ask them to come on.
And if you are Claire, please stop spamming Scotty Davis's DMs to come on here.
Keep doing it. It'll work eventually. I believe it's Martin's goal for this.
Survivor Series 2002.
And Rob.
Yeah, I would go with the same Survivor Series 2002. Yeah,
that's because I was so confident. I knew the theme song and everything. It was the first DVD I ever owned.
The first ever Elimination Chamber match.
Shawn Michaels won.
Next up, we have the Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks in a steel cage match. And just while the boys are thinking
Go
of that,
check
if
out
you
RCW.
Actually, do go check RCW Hooked on a Feeling up now on YouTube channel, RCW. It is a great show. I watched it when it came out myself, and it is very, very
I
good.
promise,
Do check it out.
all these advertisements and everything that Carmo is doing is completely off the top of his head.
Yeah, and I have nothing written down here, so it's complete. Like I don't know, I don't even.
Except for the drink part, he's actually planned that for quite a while.
Yeah,
I would love to see the sponsorship deals on the T-shirts these days.
yeah. But I have another one or two in my head. But I believe it is Rob's go to give me an answer this time.
Right. Now, so as I say, my AEW history is not so good with this. So it's probably gonna be the year I would get more than anything. So I'm gonna go for I'm gonna say 2020. Like I said, I have no idea the names of the pay-per-views and not so I wouldn't even know where to guess what pay-per-view name it would be.
Throw out something, anything at all.
Let me see.
Do you know what? I'll give you this one thing. Is your phone beside you?
Yes.
I will allow you to Google AEW pay-per-view names and you can pick from there.
That's actually pretty fair. I'll give it that. Yeah, 100%. And while Rob is doing this, be sure to buy your tickets for Fight Factory's 16th year anniversary. I am not up on when the date of the show is on, but be sure to check or to get your tickets for that show. It's sure to be a blinder of a show.
Not only that, but do you live in Longford? Fight Factory's coming to Longford.
It is indeed. It's the first time since before COVID, I believe, that Fight Factory is actually going outside of their regular venue. So if you can't and you live in the Longford area, I'm actually going to try my very hardest to get up to that show myself. Be sure to check it out and get your tickets for that show.
Right. So I'm going to go for Full Gear 2020.
Okay. One. And Martin?
All Out 22.
Sounds about right.
No, wait, shit, I'm wrong.
It is All Out
21. Because 22 was Brawl Out. Fuck!
So that's 1 point for Martin.
Rigged. I was set up.
Kind of is. Our next match is Randy Orton versus the American Dream Dusty Rhodes in a bull rope match. And while the boys are trying to think of this answer, be sure to check out all the OTT upcoming shows. Obviously, this weekend, as this episode comes out, is the Draw show. And then coming up after that, we have a couple of different other shows as the months go on in a run up to the 9th year anniversary show. So be sure to check them all out. Martin?
I think it's like, I don't know, Great American Bash 07.
Rob?
I'm going to say Double or Nothing 2019.
I'm just gonna give you a bit of a thing on this. So it's Randy Orton.
Oh, Randy
Orton. Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
He thought he was thinking Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah.
No, I was actually thinking of Cody Rhodes.
Okay. We'll give you another one.
I'm giving you another kind of shout at that.
Right. So Randy Orton against.
And while Rob's thinking. I was hoping you had another one then, Carmo.
I mean, I'm running pretty loose here, but
make sure to check out all other episodes of the 5Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast, except for last week's episode because I got kicked off it.
Yeah, I was pay-per-view wise, I would say Great American Bash, was it 2007-ish? I think it might have been, or 2007. Yeah, go for 2007.
And what was the pay-per-view?
Great American Bash.
That's 2 points piece.
That was a complete guess, by the way. I just thought Dusty Rhodes. When would they have used him? Great American Bash, maybe? What year? I don't know.
For whatever reason, I kept thinking Randy Orton, and then Cody Rhodes. I was thinking Cody Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes. I was like, Right. No. And then that's why I was like confused myself.
That's absolutely okay. Our penultimate match is John Cena versus JBL in an I Quit match. And while the boys are thinking of their answers for this, if you would like to see some 5Marks merchandise, let us know. I know we put out a spoiler for it not too long ago, but if you would like to see some 5Marks merchandise, let us know, and we will get the ball rolling. I believe it is Mark's go for this one. No, Rob's go. Sorry, Rob's go.
So it was John Cena against JBL, and it what's the match type?
An I Quit match.
Quit match. Right, I think so. Let me see. I think this was 2003, maybe. I think it was No Mercy.
Is this your final answer?
Yes.
And Martin?
Judgment Day 05.
It is Judgment Day 05.
Well done.
I can just picture the bloody crimson mask of Cena.
You're getting unlucky here, Rob. You're getting very unlucky.
It's getting close. It's judging the year, because you can't. It's one of those ones where you know it's going to be somewhere between the start and the middle. It's not really going to be too much, especially with JBL mentioned.
No. It's the hardest thing for me sometimes in wrestling is to get the years right.
Yeah.
So much happens between a year, but look, we'll move on. This is our final question, and I'm going to make it a little bit interesting. I'm going to make it for 5 points.
Okay.
So this one is Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon in a steel cage match.
Oh,
and while the boys are thinking of this answer, if you would like to see me joined by more wrestlers to kick Martin off the podcast, also let us know, because it can be arranged. It can be arranged where I can bring on someone new, maybe every week, and we can talk about a few topics, and we can just see what happens. We can see what happens. But speaking of Martin, it's also your goal.
I can't remember what the beginning of the pay-per-view was called, but it was like Saint something Valentine Day or something like that massacre, and like 98.
Okay, is that your final answer?
It's my final answer.
And Rob.
Yeah, I would go with the same, if I'm honest, because like thinking that far back, Stone Cold Vince McMahon first match. Yeah, St. Valentine's Day Massacre sounds about right. 98. Yeah.
Final answer?
I would say so. I would go for that. Yeah.
So it is 1 point for St. Valentine's Day Massacre, but it was 1999.
Can I get a bonus point if I say it was the debut of Paul White?
It was the debut of Paul White, but it's no bonus point.
Ring system.
There's no bonus point. So I will ask the two boys to chat amongst ourselves.
Who made this fucking quiz? Galacini?
Go for this score. Do you know what? It'd probably been a better quiz if Galacini made it.
No, it wouldn't have. But while Karma was tallying up the votes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to this stuff. We apologize again with how over the top this episode has been. We obviously are normally very, very good with our episodes, but we blame Emmett. It's all Emmett's fault. So any complaints for today's episode, do tweet at us at the hashtag blame Emmett, or on Instagram, tag us in a post with you taking a selfie with your fist held high going, fuck you, Emmett. Or just make a video with me at OTT today when this goes live. I will be there at the draw in Dublin. So I am very much looking forward to it. Tag team tournament. Not tag team tournament, sorry. I took a Hard Knocks. Lots of tag team matches. We got LJ and we got Trent. We got the rematch, the scrapper rematch between Sammy and Omari.
Yeah.
Danny Cross and Be Cool going for the tag team titles. So much more as well. The possibility of 4 different type of matches for the Belfast show. Who is going to be the number 1 contender? Who is going to be the OTT World Champion? Will it be Sammy? Would it be Omari, Damo, or Corvin? Who's it going to be? We find out today. He's still counting up all the votes, is he?
Big show ahead there in Dublin, and obviously tomorrow in Belfast as well. Our final count is in, and it was Rob on 17 points, Martin on 25.
Hey, my
So
age.
congratulations, Mr. Martin. You have won today's quiz. If you would like to see us do a few more quizzes, even just as bonus episodes along the week or anything like that, just because they're a bit of fun to do, please let us know and we will do them. As I said, we do have music quiz set up, so we'll try and figure out a way to be able to get that done, and you will hopefully see that sometime in the future. Also, just on the remark of the OTT show, if you do see Martin sitting in his chair, feel free to kick him out of the chair and take his spot. It is all okay.
We might have a problem here in the 5 Marks. But
Maybe.
Rob, thank you so much for coming on for an episode. It was great having you on and stuff like that.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure, and it's been great fun to be on. And that,
and obviously, the next time we see you, will be Hard Knocks.
Indeed. As I say, I would have loved to have gone to OTT the draw this weekend, but unfortunately, things happen and that sort of thing. But yeah, Hard Knocks, hard luck. Cannot wait. It's going to be an absolute banger.
We've got a surprise for you. So, obviously, everyone knows as Rob Gold. They won 2 belts and all. We talked about Money in the Bank and stuff like that. And I had a mate that was, he went to Money in the Bank too. And I had him do a little searching for me. And I got a delivery today. Actually, there was 2 deliveries. Karma got his the other day, but I got a delivery today. And I just wanted to show it to you. So, obviously, with Hard Knocks, Hard Luck coming up, and the stuff that you guys are going to be doing in Dolan's, we wanted to, kind of give a teaser of things that could happen. So, we have some gifts. We found these, I found this. Caramel, what did you find? I should.
What have I got here? Oh, wow. Oh, my headphones are got me. Oh, wow.
Anyway.
Oh, wait, hang on. Let me get settled. I'm strapped. Hang on. Whoa. Okay, turn that off, turn that back on. Look what we have here. Huh? Look at this shiny little thing. Huh? Look at this.
Mine's blue. These actually look just like yours. It's crazy.
Where's your belts, Rob? Huh? Where's your belts? Huh?
Don't worry. These will be back with you in time. We might hold on to them.
Not for long.
We might hold on to them for a little bit longer.
Once July 30th comes, they're mine. But they're mine, and you'll never see them again.
I'll tell you one thing. I wondered why my case was a lot lighter going back, and now I know.
Now you know. They're on my shoulder.
They're safe. They're well, but just know they will be coming with us. They'll be coming to the 5 Marks.
I'm just going to hang this on my wall. It's just staying here at this stage.
Well, once I get what's rightfully mine back into the grasp of these hands, it will be Rob Gold that will be walking out of Hard Knocks with those 2 prestigious belts over these beautiful shoulders.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think there's any more to be said. So, Rob, I want to thank you for joining us on today's episode. There's a little bit of a scuffed episode, but we got through it. We got a decent quiz out of it, so it's all good. Rob, have you any social medias or anything like that you would like to, for the people to know?
So, like I say, just on say Facebook, obviously my own name on Facebook kind of thing. Twitter, as I say, Rob Gold, the golden one, and the golden one is here to stay.
It's not though, because we have the titles. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for listening, and we will see you next time on the 5 Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast. Carmo, send them away.
But for this week, we are officially ding, ding, done.